What's going on, everyone? So, Russell Westbrook is in a very interesting position, right? He has kind of embraced that six-man role and seemed to have found a home with the Los Angeles Clippers. Originally, he gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, Wizards. That doesn't work out. That is a total disaster. He ends up being traded. Utah buys him out. He goes to Clippers, staying in LA. And he, again, has kind of worked it out, embraced it. He's had some excellent moments with the Clippers. He's had some not so excellent moments with the Clippers. He's not the same guy that he once was, but I do believe he is still a very effective player. I still think in the right situation, in the right environment, in the right role, can still have an impact. Even in the most recent playoffs, it was a game one. Yes, the Clippers ended up getting ran through and losing the series, but Russell Westbrook was actually incredible in that series and ended up winning that game for them. So I do think it's probably in Russell Westbrook's best interest to stick around with the Los Angeles Clippers. It's also possible that maybe, if a team kind of throws him some more money, which I don't know how much more, so Russell Westbrook has a player option this year for $4 million. Could a team maybe just like as salary filler just want kind of like a vet and, a piece to add to the roster and kind of let him go crazy, right? And pay him maybe $8 million, maybe he goes somewhere. I don't really see that. I think he's probably at that stage of his career where he's a vet minimum guy. He's 36 years old, not getting any younger. He still has the explosiveness and he still has that motor and just that energy, and he's that guy that, is going to play every game, right? There's like real value in Russell Westbrook, even as a player, right? Like the best ability is availability. But again, if he's a guy that you're counting on heavily to play a huge significant role, and just be that triple double, 20 20 20 guy, he's just really not that anymore. I mean, I think he still could, put up some really good stats if he was kind of just thrown on one of the bad teams and was like, hey, here, go ahead, do what you want, go crazy. But I think if you're looking for him to, actually be a contributing piece on a winning team, then I think he's a guy that, he needs to play in a limited role. Even with the Clippers this last year, he averaged 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists off the bench, 1.1 steals, which defensively, he has really bought in and has been much better defensively. He's really embraced that. But his free throw shooting has been terrible, which is crazy because Russell Westbrook was an 80% free throw shooter at points in his career. I mean, the first 7 years or whatever, 8 years of his career, he was 80%. And then it's just like every year it's gotten worse since then. He was 70% for a couple seasons, but just not been great in that regard. 2-point range, he's still 50%. He's still 54% is what you want from there. 3-point range, though, he is atrocious. Last year, he was 27%. So, again, he's a very particular player, right? To me, he's a guy you put on the court, you have a bunch of shooters around him, and then that lob threat center that can kind of be the roll man, and you just let Russell Westbrook get a head of steam downhill, get to the rim, either drive and kick, hopefully finish at the rim, because it is kind of 50-50 with him at this stage of his career, or be the lob threat pass to the big man, right? He still really has that in him. But there is talks that if he was to leave the Los Angeles Clippers, the Miami Heat are actually favored to land Russell Westbrook. And honestly, I actually like Russell Westbrook off the bench for the Miami Heat. I don't really know about starting for Miami, but off the bench in that six-man role, I actually think he would make a lot of sense, right? Give him a guy that can just kind of initiate running offense, apply rim pressure, get downhill, do the things that he does best. I also think Eric Spoelstra is one of those coaches that could really draw a lot out of him and really kind of help him kind of hone what he's best at and put him in the best positions possible. Also, again, Russell Westbrook's defense has been very much improved this last year and a half. It really started with the Lakers, kind of coming off the bench, buying into on the defensive side of things, and then really carried that over with the Clippers. If he can carry that over with Miami, I think that'd be great. To me, I think he's, a Heat culture guy. I think he's a guy that is, clamored by his teammates. Teammates love him. right? He's a guy you know is going to play every game. He's going to play through injuries. He's going to show up. He's going to give 110%, whether it's game 1 or game 82, right? Like the guy's going to do everything he can. I also think him and Bam Adebayo could really have a nice chemistry. Him and Thomas Bryant have some chemistry together that could make some interesting kind of. And look, Thomas Bryant had some of his best games because of Russell Westbrook. Again, not a guy that I'm really expecting Miami to have heavy with, Thomas Bryant, that is. But I also think he, with, Jimmy Butler and everybody, I think would kind of fit in nice. And I don't like the idea of him as necessarily your starter, especially now you got Terry Rozier. And, so I just think you stick with that. But him coming off the bench for, 20 minutes a game and just kind of give you that change of pace, give you that different direction, maybe put Jimmy on the bench, right? Bring in Russell Westbrook, have him with like Tyler Hero and Jaime Jaquez, and maybe have Kevin Love for floor spacing or Caleb Martin and, Josh. Basically just put all your shooters around him, right? Duncan Robinson, Josh Richardson, you could put out there, Terry Rozier, and just kind of let Russ just go crazy, right? Just be like, hey, go get me 15 a game and, dish out 8 assists. I think he could do that. I really do. Like I said, Russ has to be on the right team in the right situation with the right environment and the right culture. And I think Miami would be one of those places. I think Miami is a team that, has guys that are just like relentless, and Jimmy Butler, and, it has a head coach and Eric Spoelstra. I think Pat Riley would love Russell Westbrook and his just like energy and tenacity. I think he'd, help be a locker room guy. I don't think you're going to get any kind of headaches or trouble from Russell Westbrook in that regard, right? I think he's a guy that's going to buy into the team, buy in the culture. And I really do think Russell Westbrook understands the situation he's in now, which a lot of players, to his credit, a lot of players don't. I mean, even like, look at Carmelo Anthony as an example, right? Like Carmelo Anthony, it took him being out of the league for a couple years before he bought in and understood, like, okay, like clearly I have to accept the role. Or, look at Allen Iverson, right? Allen Iverson probably could have played another 3 to 5 years if he just accepted that he wasn't the Allen Iverson of old, right? So, to Russell Westbrook's credit, the fact that he's basically embraced, like, okay, this is where I'm at now. I'm the sixth man. I'm coming in. I'll do it. Let's go, right? And I mean, even if you did, like, if you wanted to start him, I don't think it's like the worst thing ever. Again, I think you bring him off the bench, but if you were to start him, say you go with something like, I don't know, Russell Westbrook, Terry Rozier, Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, and like Bam Adebayo or something. I mean, you probably got Jaime Jaquez in there somewhere, so maybe you go Jaime Jaquez and Bam Adebayo. I don't know, right? Like, just kind of have like that floor spacing and just let Russell Westbrook go crazy. I think Russell Westbrook with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo would be a lot of fun to watch. I think that they could all kind of complement each other. I think Russell Westbrook, again, him being 36, he gets to go to a team that is always kind of in the hunt. And if he can kind of just buy in and allow Eric Spoelstra to really kind of coach him and hone him in, right? And I'm not saying he's not coachable or anything like that. I mean, look, again, Tyronn Lue has done a great job with Russell Westbrook, but I think Eric Spoelstra is really good at understanding his players at an individual level and understands where to put players to get the most out of them and to put them in the position to have the most success. And I think Russell Westbrook with Miami, I think Eric Spoelstra would be able to do that with him and really kind of, I think he would just thrive being on Miami, right? And, again, I'm not saying he's ever going to get back to being, that 30-point Mr. Triple-Double or anything like that. But I do think, again, I think he could be a guy that, could probably get in the, again, right position, right role, right minutes. I think he could give you 15-8-8 or something like that, or 15-8-5, right? I mean, even with the Clippers in the 2022-2023 season, he averaged just a hair under 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Right? Even with the Lakers, he averaged 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. Or 7 rebounds and 8 assists. Right? Like I could, like, if he could do that for a team like Miami, I think that would go a long way. Right? Again, you're gonna have your good moments with Russ. You're gonna have your bad moments with Russ. You're gonna have that game where you're just like, man, Russell Westbrook was a great idea, and then you have a game where it's like, we should not have signed Russell Westbrook. That's just kind of what you get with him. But I do think he would be very dynamic with Miami, and I just think where he's at, him really buying in and embracing whatever's role is asked of him really buying in and embracing the defensive side of things. I just genuinely think that Miami is one of the few teams that would make a lot of sense for him. And if you're Miami, I mean, you're getting him on a vet minute. You're not breaking the bank to bring him in. You can bring him in on another 1+1. Maybe even a non-guaranteed deal or something like that, to where if it doesn't work, you can just let him go. But I think he's a guy that could really kind of raise the ceiling a little bit for Miami and just provide some reliability off the bench, personally. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of Russell Westbrook on the Miami Heat? Do you think no? Keep him far away from Miami. He's not a Heat guy. Don't want him, or too old, or whatever. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.